We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully, your day is going well. It is Tuesday, and we're doing a TikTok live. We're doing a TikTok live because I'm down in Georgia. I need to do this as easy as I can. We'll kill two birds with one stone, do the TikTok live, and of course, we will do the Rational Boomer podcast too. Now, we just did a live a little bit ago, and we had all kinds of problems with technological things. I don't know if it was with TikTok or it was with me, but I think we've got it fixed up. You know, the Wi-Fi where I'm at right now is a little sketchy sometimes, and I think I fixed that. You have to understand we're in Savannah, Georgia. I have a condo there. My wife is not feeling well, so I thought I'd come down to the pool house. Yeah, these books, I don't read these fucking books. Come down to the pool house to do it, but the Wi-Fi down here can be a little iffy at times. When I started, the regular people weren't around because there was some miscalculation as to times. Normally, I would call TJ and I would say, "Listen, man, I'm going to go at 9:30," but that would be Central Time. But I'm not in Central Time anymore. I'm in Eastern Time, so 9:30 wasn't 10:30 to them. It was in fact 9:30. So anyway, we did the live. I stopped the live, and hopefully this will improve the technological parts of it. I'm going to bring up Trucker T,
Yep,
who is back,
we're back.
and Shell, who was up with us. Now, TJ and Rebecca haven't requested, but I'm going to hit them anyway. Okay, wait, I do have. All right, we have Rebecca coming up now. So we're starting this this TikTok live completely over. So we're going to probably cover some of the things we've already covered. Rebecca, welcome. Shell, welcome. And Trucker T, no doubt TJ will be showing up here any minute. There he is. Oliver's mom and some other folks. We'll pull them up in a little bit. When I started doing the first live, I said, you know, every day I look at the news and, you know, there's scary shit out there. But what troubles me is there's just some ridiculous, stupid shit too. One of the things I started talking about was the whole thing with Jeffrey Epstein situation. We know that prior to the election, somebody's got their stuff on loud in the background, and I'm getting reverb and stuff. So if you could turn that down, I appreciate it. But the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, prior to the election, the Republicans love to have their conspiracy theories. Oh, Jeffrey Epstein didn't unalive himself. Oh, Jeffrey Epstein has a list of clients. We can't wait to get in there. Biden won't release it. So now we get the likes of Kash Patel and Dan Bongino in the FBI and Pam Bondi as the Attorney General. And they couldn't wait to get their hands on everything. But when they get in there, things change. Well, I guess he did unalive himself. And guess what? There is no client list. Sounds to me, people say, what if there is no list? There's a fucking list. Jeffrey Epstein was in the business of blackmail. There was a list, and they don't like who's on the list.
Yeah, so Bondi said that she had the client list on her desk a few months ago, and now it's gone.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was in February where she went on Fox News and touted the fact that she was going through it and that she would be releasing it as soon as they had gone through it.
Yeah.
And now it's magically disappeared.
Now there's no list. Yeah, okay.
Well,
The
just today,
level of stupidity that they feel like their followers have is just outrageous and they must be stupid because they listen to everything he says.
well, just today,
Yeah,
Mike,
absolutely.
just today, Kash Patel said that the reason why they're not releasing the list is because there's names on it, important people's names on it. But the other side of the fence is saying there is no list. He's on a radio station, probably unaware, and he's saying that there is people's names on it.
Well, the reason they should release the list is because there's important people's names on it.
Well, it's a fucking list, so of course there's names on it. I mean, it's common sense.
The right
Well,
hand
why
of
did
his
the Republicans?
administration isn't talking to the left hand.
Well, exactly. And if there weren't important people on the list, why prior to the election were they begging to put it out? They just
because
don't like who's on the list.
yeah, they blew their wad too early because they didn't think it through. They're like, oh, we're gonna because all the Trump fucks have been saying for all these years, it's Bill Clinton and it's all the Democrats, and then so all these motherfuckers been listening to that, Pam Bondi and all of them, Cash Patel, and they're like chomping at the bit to get it, and then they get it, and now they have buyer's remorse because
Yeah.
Donald Trump's on there and a lot of other probably affluent Republicans are on there, and it's going to ruin their lives. So
Well,
now
let me ask you
all of a
this.
sudden it's gone.
Let me ask you this. It's not gone. I think somebody has
Well,
it, and it may
it-
get out one way or another. But here's my thing. People think it's just because they're trying to protect Donald Trump. I tell you what, there are people on that list that are also wealthier than Donald Trump. Maybe not as powerful in the sense that he's the president, but have power in their own right.
Sure.
There's a lot of people with a lot of money and a lot of power don't want that out. Whether it be Bill Gates or
The Koch
whoever,
brothers.
the Koch brothers or some entertainment icon. These people are probably pounding the DOJ. You can't put that out. You can't put that out. There's probably all kinds of pressure from it. And that's why it's going to be hard for us to actually see it. Even if Donald Trump chokes on a Big Mac, there are a lot of people with a lot of power that don't want that shown.
Right. And I get it. Like just recently here, there was a bust, and it was a prostitution bust, and it was a health fitness center that was guised as a gym, and we all knew about it forever and ever. And finally, I think the state attorney general or somebody went after them and investigated it, and they busted all these people, and they got indictments out there, and there's a list of indictments. And I recognized a couple of the names on the list, and suddenly all their social media accounts disappeared. One of the people on the list I went to high school with that I knew, and so it's the same thing. Like they're terrified that all that affluent Republicans are on this list, and I'm willing to bet you, I bet you any amount of money that the amount of Republicans on there far exceed the amount of Democrats on there.
But that said, I don't care if they're Democrats or Republicans.
Oh, prosecute them
because,
all. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
because whether they're powerful or not, they committed egregious, horrific crimes, presumably. And, do what you do and you pay the price.
Well, my point is, Mike, is that even if there were Republicans on it, but it was predominantly Democrats, they would have rushed that thing right out the door so everyone could see it. But now they're, Pam Bondi says, oh, it was on my desk 3 months ago, and now all of a sudden, oh, there's no such thing. It's not true. Bullshit.
Well, TJ, you missed the most important part. Caroline said it this morning. She said, yes, she did say that it was on her desk, but she was talking about the entirety of the bill, not a list.
The entirety of the case?
Yeah.
My ass.
Release it.
She literally
Yeah,
said,
My ass.
She
in
did say
February,
that.
She literally said the list is on my desk and I'm going.
Yeah.
Yes,
she's
she
full of
used
shit.
that word list.
Yeah. Why didn't she say I have the case on my desk? Why didn't
Right.
she say I have the list on my desk? She chose her words wisely. And now that's biting them in the ass.
Well, they're always diverting, distracting, and delaying. Somebody's asking here. I just want to answer this. Freeman says, where have you been for 2.5 months? I've been here every motherfucking day. If you're not seeing me, thank TikTok and the algorithm. I'm here every day, all day.
I'll vouch for that.
Yeah, you guys can vouch for that. What's so funny is they're flailing so much that by doing what they're doing in this situation, oh, we can't wait to see it. It's definitely there. It's on my desk. Oh, no, it's not here. That's so transparent. That's such a con job. I don't believe they think they can get away with it. And I don't know that they do. I think that's all they got. That's the only thing they can say. And that's why I feel like they're flailing at this point. and what we might be headed down the right path where this is all going to crash and burn.
Right. Well, just wait till tomorrow because there's going to be some giant distraction tomorrow to try to distract away from this whole thing getting blown up that, it doesn't exist. There's going to be...
Well, he already did that, though. Because he came out today and he said, oh, by the way, I'm going to put tariffs on Japan and South Korea. He's already trying to distract from it. I'm so fucking tired of tariffs right now. I don't even care.
Did you guys hear what Pete I Need a Drink Hegseth said or implemented in the last couple of days? The military has a level of radar that the weather people used.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Pete has now said that they're no longer allowed to have access to that radar.
Well, that'll be good for hurricane season.
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
I could do you one better than that, Mike. Over the weekend, MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, got something stuck, and
Oh, God.
she's going to create a bill that if anybody messes with the weather, it'll be a felony.
Yeah. That ranks right up there with chemtrails, Pat, the fucking Trump-la-fuck that I talk to all the time.
And Jewish
Well, they're all
space
talking
lasers.
about how it was fake and the weather was fake. How do you fake all of these deaths is my question.
Well, you know what I want to know here's what I want to know. The Republicans control the presidency, the House, and the Senate, but all of a sudden the Democrats can do all this stuff like control the weather. They're all in charge of all this stuff. I mean, I guess the Democrats are the most powerful people in the world.
Not for nothing, but Joe Biden is the most powerful man in the world.
Yeah,
Because
and he's not.
fucking retired with prostate cancer and doing shit.
Yeah,
that
and
is
he's changing the
unfucking
weather.
Believable. Yeah.
Come on now, this
I
is
thought he was
fucking.
Sleepy Joe, right?
It's fucking.
Well, he's Sleepy Joe, but he's a evil
Sleeping
genius.
incompetent
Fuck.
Joe is like fucking like
He's-
just literally controlling everything in the world right now.
Yeah. You know. Did you hear what Donald Trump said? Somebody asked him. They said, "Do you think cutting back on the National Weather Service had any impact on the deaths and the flooding in Texas?" He seemed
100%.
kind of flustered. He said, "Well, he seemed kind of flustered. He wasn't going to say that." He said, "No, I don't think so." And they said, "Well, what caused it?" And he says, "It's about water and Joe Biden," and that's all he fucking said.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, you dipshit?
Yeah,
he-
not for nothing. When you get rid of, when you like basically get rid of NOAA and FEMA and all the things that like warn you and protect you from these things and tell you to evacuate.
Yeah, and what did he do? He played fucking golf. He didn't give a fuck about any of it. He went and played golf.
got
He
caught
played
eating hot
golf
dogs.
and Ted Cruz was in Greece.
Yeah, so I guess he's gonna fly down there next week and throw some paper towels out to everybody.
I guess.
Well, he's going to fly down next week or Friday or whatever. Nothing like being on top of it, motherfucker. You got that golf game covered, but you can't get down to Texas, for fuck's sake.
Right, exactly.
These
This guy's blocked.
don't you think there are some Trump-fucks, some Republicans finally kind of, I mean, they have to be the more intelligent ones, and they are few, but they've got to be going, yeah, this doesn't fucking make sense. Maybe this guy is a dipshit. I don't know. You would think that would get through to them, but some of these people will just never be woke at all. And when I say woke, I don't mean woke in the sense they complain about. I mean literally fucking up and awake.
Well, here's the thing, Mike. Even with this very horrific tragedy down in Texas, they are still blaming the Democrats for that, right? I mean, they don't understand that this is on him. This has nothing. He's been in 7 months now. This guy's been in office, right? So it has nothing to do with Democrats. They had the alerts. They had a major coordinator shortage, and the message didn't get out, allegedly, right? And I will say allegedly because I don't know who's listening. But it's not the Democrats' fault. Day one, you're in charge. When you're the president of the United States, you don't get a 6-month grace period. You go on day one. That's it.
Yeah, it's. Some people have said, well, it's a strategy, it's a plan. They all know what they're doing.
No, they
And I've
don't.
said this in the previous live, Donald Trump doesn't know shit from shit. Everything he does is reactionary. Everything he does is emotional. When he speaks out like, oh, it's water and Joe Biden, he just pulls shit out of his ass, runs it through that orange fucking head and out that sphincter looking mouth and says whatever fucking comes to him. Now, there are people around him that are smart and do have strategies, but can you imagine if you're running a business or a government and you have all these allegedly smart people around you, and then you have to funnel it through a dumb fuck like Donald Trump? No question it's going to get fucked up. You're sending water and ideas through a fucking dirty pipe, and he will fuck it up every time.
Yeah, you're sending it through a dirty diaper to get out to the public, so that's how it's disseminated.
Yuck.
But don't you think that's what's going to get to the Republicans, though? They keep telling him to do these things, and he always fucks it up. There's got to come a point where he's more of a liability than he is an asset, and they got to kick him to the curb. They've got to impeach him or do something because they're trying to accomplish something, and thank God Donald Trump is an idiot because they can't get it much accomplished. I mean, they got the bill and stuff, but he still keeps messing it up. This bill, as much as they think it's a win, wait till fucking elections in 2026. Then we'll decide how much of a win it is.
Well, he's still
But we have to
creating.
get on our game. We need to start doing something. Freaking Trump has been campaigning for 15 dang years, about 15 years,
Yeah,
and we're still
that's all he knows how to
sitting
do.
around going, well, I don't know who we're going to run.
Well, here's an interesting thing I thought about earlier today. What if, in the midterms, the Democrats take the House and then the Senate is 50-50? And
Yeah.
so the House is going to file articles of impeachment because of all the vast crimes that have been committed in the past 7 months, right? So
Right.
what is J.D. Vance going to do? Because if it ends up that way and it's 50-50, he's a tie-breaking vote. So he gets to vote whether or not he becomes president of the United States or not.
Unless this, it could happen this way too. Say it is 50-50 and we have the House. We've heard that there are some Republicans that want him out of the way. They want him impeached. They would have the votes in the House, meaning they need 60 votes. That would be 10 Republicans. This would be a perfect time to kick him to the curb, but blame the Democrats, which is what they would have to do because if the Republicans impeach him, then they're going to piss off the base. Okay. In this case, if the Democrats initiate it and 10 Republicans sacrifice themselves to the base, they could still kick him to the curb and the Republicans could still blame the Democrats.
But that's the problem with the big beautiful bill. The big beautiful bill, everything that goes into the effect goes in like in 2027, I believe. So it's
Yeah.
going to be hitting right as
26, I think.
okay, 2026. So it's going to be hitting right at that time, and they're just going to be dumping it on us like it was our fault, I believe.
Well, they tried to do that with the tax cuts too. No doubt. But here's the thing. Shell. No matter if they delay it till 2026 or 2027, between now and then, there'll be so many fuck ups that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. Donald Trump will destroy himself in the process. And then hopefully if we can do something to soften the blow once we get control, we can keep our fingers crossed about that. But don't think Donald Trump is going to slip one by because he's not smart enough to do that.
No.
Hey, Mike, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so just say we take back control, right? We get the House, we get the Senate during these midterms. Can we repeal that big, beautiful bill, or are we stuck with that bad boy?
No, we're stuck with it.
Yeah.
We're stuck with it. Yeah, we're stuck with it.
I
asked
asked TJ that same question a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we're stuck with it. Unfortunately, all we can do is triage the injuries and do the best we can to cover them.
We're stuck with the fiscal part of it. If any of the other things that are in there, I haven't seen the updated version of it, but I know the parliamentarian has thrown out a lot of things that were they said is not part of reconciliation. So if there's other things that are in there that are not budget related that got through somehow, those could potentially be removed by other legislation.
Okay.
Because it's not
I
technically.
understand today they said something about blocking the part of it that was blocking the Planned Parenthood stuff. They said that a judge sorry little dog, a judge said something about that today.
Yeah. If there's something in there that's not part of the budget and it stays in there, which I'm not sure because I haven't reviewed it since before the parliamentarian tore it apart.
Right.
Right.
Hey, TJ,
Yeah.
so somebody in the comments said, can we pass a better bill to replace this one?
No.
Mm-mm.
No. The answer is no.
No, we have to try to work with what we've got and try to fix things. We can pass other bills that maybe, but I don't know. You know, I'm not an expert on this. I just want to answer a question. Craig from Nome, Alaska. That's a red flag. Craig from Nome, Alaska says, "Is this live?" No, Craig, it's not. This was recorded in 2016. We're all just fucking psychics. We're talking about shit that's going to happen 9 years from now.
I was hoping you saw that.
Now, Craig, don't get butthurt about this. I've told these people about this too. If I give you shit, that means I like you. So don't get upset about it. No, it's live. It's as live as I can be at 65. Let's see who else is out there. I know I got one person who'll liven the show up a little bit. It's been, I think we talked to her in not the last live, but the live before.
Mm-hmm.
C Temptation is with us, and I know she's got some opinions.
What's
Will's
going
out
on,
there.
Mike?
What's up,
How
C?
you doing?
I'm doing well. See, can you can attest to the fact that the people I like most are the people I give the most shit to, right? Did I give you
Absolutely.
plenty of shit?
Yeah, because you talk shit
Absolutely.
to me, so but I'm used to it. I'm used to it, so it doesn't bother me.
I tell you, the only reason I talk shit to you, C Temptation, is we are in two different states and you can't fucking reach me.
I take it as it's your love language.
That's okay, but we still on the same flow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's right.
What's on your
Hey,
mind
see,
today?
No, I was gonna say something about that so-called big, beautiful, ugly bill, and I got inside information on this because this person who I know, he knows attorneys, he knows judges, Republicans and Democrats. He did share with us that the people like the 23 governors, the 23 attorney generals, and non-for-profit organizations like ACLU, Indivisible.gov, and I think NoKings.org, they could challenge that bill. They can challenge it
Really?
because it's not going to go into effect till January next year. They're going to fight for us, including J.B. Pritzker. He already said it. He said we're going to fight this because that's all that stuff he's talking about. That is crazy. I mean, that's going to cause a lot of hospitals to shut down. A lot of people in the medical field, they're going to lose their jobs, and possibly maybe the providers is going to cost them their jobs. It's ridiculous. A lot of people are going to die from that.
Absolutely. Tell me if I'm the only one that's weird about this. You've got the Republicans who are dead set against LGBTQ community, right?
Oh yeah.
They passed the bill, and there's video of a representative. I don't even know who it was.
Mm-hmm.
He's walking down the aisle, and there's another representative standing up right on the aisle. This representative goes and grabs the other Republican's ass. Now, he just pat it. He doesn't pinch it. He grabs a whole fucking handful of this guy's ass and then turns around and smiles at him. And then they go up front and they're cheering and they dance wildly to YMCA. That seems a little homoerotic.
That's like a Mike Johnson move.
Yeah, he even took some home for later, Mike.
He did what?
I say he took some home for later. That's something like
So
There you go.
I saw that video. That was crazy. He just
It was
straight up
crazy.
reached up and grabbed a cheek.
right.
Oh,
He did.
hell no.
He did.
So
He did.
It's Grinder gone wild.
There you go.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I want to tell anybody who's in the audience that's gay, I'm not making. I support LGBTQ. My
Right.
problem with this isn't that it's homoerotic or whatever. My problem with it is these people behave like this, and they're doing everything to marginalize the LGBTQ
Yeah.
community. They're
They
fucking
never admit to
hypocrites.
it. They never admit
If
to
they're
it.
gay, if there is some people that are gay on the Republican side, go out and fly your flag, motherfucker. But they don't do that. They either hate
They keep busy
themselves or
trying
they
to
go
keep it
after
on
the
the
people in
down
their
low.
community.
That's what they want to do. They trying to be on some DL type of mess.
So
Yeah.
here's a weird one. I got a phone call the other day, last week, on Thursday, and the phone call came in, and it was from the 202 area code. And whenever I get a phone call from the 202 area code, I know one of two things. It's either it's going to be really bad or really good. But this one was just neither. It was weird. 202, by the way, is Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
So I get this phone call, and it's a gentleman from the U.S. Department of Labor. And he called me because he's very interested in bringing the U.S. Secretary of Labor to my Labor Day parade that I have here in the city. And he was very adamant about the fact that it was going to be a nonpartisan kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, like I'll listen, send me some details. But apparently, for whatever reason, they want the U.S. Secretary of Labor, that's Lori Chavez DeRemer,
Yeah.
to speak at our Labor Day parade. And I sent him a message back, and I was like, yeah, the council talked about this, and we're cool with it, but it's got to be a nonpartisan, non-political kind of speech about labor rights, not political. And he's like, well, it's affiliated with America 250. It's a nonprofit organization that's through the Department of Labor. So I kind of went and I looked it up because I was kind of suspicious. I'm like, okay, what is this nonprofit? And I checked it out, and it's legitimately this committee. The board of directors is a bipartisan kind of board of directors, and actually Alex Padilla is on the board of directors, but so is Lisa Murkowski, the crazy from Alaska. Yeah, but it's a bipartisan type of thing. So I was a little apprehensive about giving them an answer about it, but when I kind of researched it a little more, like, I think it's okay, because when I did the research on it, like, she's not actually she doesn't have a bad record on her labor stance, even though, like, I would say probably what I surmise about the whole thing is that out of all the crazy people that were appointed in the clown car of people that were appointed by Donald Trump, she's probably the least risky person that was appointed by them all.
The least objectionable.
Yeah. So, like, the local unions in the area were like, it doesn't seem like a bad thing because she's the least insane person of all those appointments.
Well, not for nothing, but she has to be on a dais with a bunch of Democrats, and I don't think she wants to go there with that. So I'm hoping it's non-political.
Well, TJ, I would suggest this for safety's sake. I'm just going to offer this up. Have her speak, and depending on how it goes, let me speak after. Invite me to speak after she speaks, and I will just say the speech will start out simply by saying, "Motherfucker, please."
There you go.
I got a
And
question
then we'll
for
go
the group.
south after that.
Mike, I got
Yeah.
a question for the group. Has any one of us on this panel, or even in the chat for that matter, heard the new counterterrorism kid speak?
No.
Have we
No,
even seen
no.
this film?
No.
No.
Nope.
So is that real, or is it? You know what I mean? Is
I
that for
think it's
real?
real. I think it's real. Yeah,
I
I
think
think
it's
it's
real too.
real.
Yeah, it's probably real.
Yeah.
I haven't heard shit.
I want to let the folks know listening. First of all, just a heads up, TJ, I got a violation for harassment. I
Hey,
appealed it, and we'll see what happens. But we have a regular contributor on this live typically, Will. Will got banned twice. And now he's got another account up, and I just want to let folks know if you've been looking for Will, he's easy to find. He's got a new name, and it's Kumquat6. Now,
There he
Will
is.
makes certain to tell us that a kumquat is a fruit.
yes.
Don't make it out to be some dirty ass word. But if you look at his profile picture, he does get to be able to put out what he thinks about all the bullshit. So check out Kumquat6, and you will find Will there. And he can't even come on the live yet. So we'll get him back out here just as soon as he's possibly able to do it. So check out Will if you haven't already.
So I pulled up in Google when some of these of the new big beautiful bills start and when some of them end, and of course all of them are listed, but I'll just give you the tax ones. Most of the tax ones start tax year 2025 and 2026. 3 of them that
Okay.
have passed are slated to be permanent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them are set to end in 2028, and 3 are set to end in 2026.
Okay.
So some of it is actually slated as permanent. The Medicaid ones are all starting in 2028, except the Medicaid work requirements. It's slated to start no later than 31st December 2026. And all of the Medicaid ones say, where it says end, it says not applicable.
Right. Well, that's why we have to keep this in the narrative and keep talking about it. I mean, it's real easy to put it off in the future and people say, well, it's not going to affect me for a while or if at all. We still have to keep talking about it. We got to keep it in the narrative. What we learned from Donald Trump and the Republicans, they don't even have to be telling the truth as long as they keep pounding on it. So we have the truth backing us up, but we need to keep pounding on it so people don't forget. It's like Mitch McConnell said, they'll get over it. We can't allow that to happen.
I totally agree. That was my statement about Trump campaigning for 975 years. He's been campaigning forever, and he just says the same rhetoric every single time he gets to the mic. And, eventually I guess people hear it enough, they just believe everything he says because he said it last week and the week before that and the week before that.
Yeah.
We got to keep
absolutely.
talking.
We got to keep talking. We got to keep loud, and we can't allow people to shut us down. I mean, I'm looking at this live here that we're doing, and I was getting a similar amount of people coming through at first. We got that violation now; it's about half that. I'm not surprised. TikTok is a weird situation. My contention is if there's an audience, we're going to be talking, whether it's 2 people or 2 million people. I don't really give a shit. So I'm pulling somebody else up here now to get in with the conversation. It is Jordan's mom, and how are you doing?
Hi, friend. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good to have you.
Thank you. Nice to be here. So, 2 things. The first is, no offense, no disrespect to anybody. This is just a suggestion. Perhaps it would be wise for us to not refer to this as the big, beautiful bill. It is oppressive legislation. It is meant to harm and to destroy. Why would we take their term and use it as if it's not what it is? We're allowing them to again control the narrative. Why would we keep using that as a reference point? Why not call it something else? That's the first thing, just a suggestion. The
No,
second,
I agree with you. It's about branding, and this is what they do.
yeah,
I think a lot of people are calling it a bunch of different things, but let's just
Well,
let's make up our own name for it.
this is what they always do. They create cutesy names for shit that's evil, like
Yep.
Citizens United, or
if I could finish.
right to work. Right to work is another one. Right to work. It sounds good, but it's evil. So that's what they always do. They brand these things with these really nice names, but they're totally evil, and they fuck everyone over in the middle class.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to finish and go before you got on your soapbox, but okay. Let me say the last thing, and then I'll be on my way. The last thing is I always like to bring solutions, and so I'm not a politician in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm just a regular person with regular ideas, and I feel like perhaps it's not in our best interest to wait until the midterm elections. One of the issues what we talked about is that one of our problems is that some of our members of Congress are older. Why not? Why not? Pick and choose some of those members of Congress that are in safe places where you know if you replace them, you know you could replace them with another Democrat. And then,
Pelosi.
Right.
ho- and
Sorry.
then, and then respect. If I'm gonna be gone in a minute, I promise. And then if when you pick the places where it's safe, you know you can replace Democrat for Democrat. Why not solicit the retirement of these people and replace them via special election so that when the midterms come around, you already have the next person in place and they're younger, vibrant, better able to put up the fight because we're going to have people who are able to put out the message, to put boots on the ground, to do all of the legwork. If we are allow ourselves to be hampered again by people who are old to get into the fray in a vigorous way, that's one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest hindrances that we have. We have to do something and address it. And I don't think we should wait until the midterms. This is something that can be addressed now, state by state, in a strategic way.
All right, can I answer
I
that
agree
real
with.
quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Trucker T.
Well, we tried that, and they got rid of the person who wanted to put younger people in. So we have to come up with a different strategy for the same result, right? They got rid of the chairman who said that he was going to term limit all of the older politicians in the Democratic Party. They got rid of them.
Well, Jordan's mom, I just want to say this too. What you're suggesting is Democrats maybe resign or retire and bring in a younger crowd, and that's a great idea. The problem is we've got politicians with egos that won't go. They want to ride this out till they die on the House floor, and that's the problem. We've got to almost force them out,
They're
and the
never
only way
going to
we
vote
can
in
do
their
that
best.
is with
They're
elections.
never going to vote against their best interest. That's not a thing.
So
That's unfortunate, but you're right, George, mom.
perhaps you're right. Here's the thing. This is what is important to me, and I think what is important to all of us is the bigger picture. No matter if that is their decision, at least let us put forth the effort. At least let us try. Because if you can force out Biden, anybody can be forced out.
Well, that's a
Can
good
I
point.
offer
And
Pelosi?
well, yeah, Pelosi, she would be the first one on the list. But I will tell you this, Jordan's mom, there is some good hints that this is going on. We got the Mondani in New York, a young guy who's just not part of the establishment. And from what I'm hearing, there are a lot of other younger politicians or future politicians that are deciding to run. And I think that's what it's going to take. We're going to need a new crew, a younger crew of people to step up and say, I want to run. Because we're going to have more millennials and Gen Zs voting in the 2028 election than we ever had before. They're going to be the majority of the voters. So we need the young people to step up and run for reelection, and we will get rid of the old people by attrition.
It's not only about them like deciding to run. It's about the fact that they are like they're like winning their primaries. They're winning. Like women are
Yeah.
winning. Mamdani won. Like it's about them like freaking like obviously the people are standing up and saying we need change. We need change.
Again,
Yeah, no question.
nothing beats a failure but a try, and we have to put forth the effort. And I think that if we, as a collective, say this is our strategy, if we stick to our strategy, and if we say that this is the outcome that we want to attempt to achieve, I don't see why we can't be successful in some areas. Is it going to be 100%? Of course not. But it is in our best interest to try to do this and implement it now, so that these people have the opportunity to do fundraising, to get their feet wet and acclimated to the processes for the fight that's coming next year. It is worth an attempt.
Well, you're absolutely right. We have to, as a collective electorate, we have to put this message out there. It's one thing. I mean, because there's a lot of people in the Democratic Party that just want business as usual. Well, you just lost the fucking race on November 5th, so business as usual doesn't work. I have a theory. If you do something and it doesn't work, do something different. And what you're suggesting is exactly that. And I hope that the people of this country recognize that we do have to do something different and vote younger people in. Um, the problem is we've got so many we got dumb people on the Republican side and we got dumb and stubborn people on the Democratic side. I'm frustrated completely by our government. I never would have thought we'd gotten this far with what Donald Trump is doing. I thought the Republicans would step up. I thought the Democrats would step up, and they just don't. They just don't. We need massive changes in our Congress.
We do, and all of my life, I've given such thanks for being born here, because on these shores you can choose your own life as a woman. You can live where you want, marry who you want, you can work where you want. All of those things I don't think I could have achieved elsewhere. How would I? There
Right.
was no way for me to know that democracy was indeed this fragile. There was no way for me to know that it could come apart, be ripped apart so swiftly by a bunch of misfits.
I, well, I agree. Not only ripped apart so easily, but by incompetence, absolute incompetence. They don't even know how the government runs, and they are just able to, be like a '70s rock band, go into a hotel and just tear it apart, or be like the guys who get their houses foreclosed on and they rip it apart before they leave because they're mad. And I think that's part of it too, Jordan's mom. Because the young people are stepping up and there's going to be more young people voting, I think they sense their grasp on control in Washington, D.C. and around the country is starting to slip. So they're just getting crazy. They're doing anything. They're taking ridiculous chances, doing stupid things, gaslighting people because they know the end is near.
I think two things could be true at the same time. I think that what you said could be true, but I also think this is the culmination of something. I think that in this country for a very, very long time, there has been an anti-intellectualism movement, a bunch of people who are mediocre and unaccomplished in their own life. And they are also, in addition to that, many of them are socially awkward. They're not smart. They're not clever. They're unremarkable in every way. And everybody in their family has told them, everybody in their orbit has told them, you know what I'm saying? Get your act together. Those misfits, those group of awkward people have to come together, and they have sought their revenge. Their revenge on all of the what they call the educated elite, the people who have told them that they're weird. Isn't that why Trump ran in the first place? Because he was ostracized, he was thirsty for attention. All of them
Yeah.
have the same sort of narcissistic character, and most of them are short. You know what goes along with that. So when you put all of that
Yeah.
together, these people are exacting their revenge. In Africa, they have a saying. It says that a child who does not feel the love of his village will burn it down to see his warmth, to feel its warmth. That's what this is. Because they've never felt included, they'd rather burn it down than let anybody else have it.
Kind of like the cop that was picked on in school and now wants to exact revenge because now he has a certain amount of authority. I think you're absolutely right about that, and I think you're giving them too much credit when you talk about mediocrity. When you look at Donald Trump's cabinet and Donald Trump himself, they're far below mediocrity. If they were mediocre, it would be helpful, but they are much lower than that.
Agreed.
Well, Jordan's
Haven't we
mom, thank you
lost
very
three
much.
Democrats this year?
Yeah, yeah, we've got
Yeah.
old, elderly people. We're in the 6, 7 months, and we've had 3 representatives from the Democratic Party die.
Yes.
That should tell us, maybe get some younger blood in here.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. Jordan's mom, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. We always
Always a pleasure.
love to hear
Thank you
from
so
you.
much. Thank you so much. Everybody have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You know what I like about Jordan's mom? She's very smart. She says it like it is, and she just ain't fucking having it. She just ain't having it. And that's the kind of mindset we need from young people in this country. People who are just tired of the shit. Oh God. I don't know how he did this.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Hi,
We've
Will.
got Will. We've got Will in the house. I thought you couldn't get on lives.
I thought I couldn't either, but the thing is, the influx of people from last night's podcast made the difference.
Oh,
So,
okay.
hi guys.
Well, maybe so. What's on your mind, dude?
Real quick, because I don't have much time, because I didn't think it was going to work. But hey, loved the invasion of MacArthur Park today.
Yeah, beautiful.
I was not happy because I spent a lot of time with my father there, and these guys showed up like they're going to war with what? They had summer camps of kids there. What is going on? And the people were not happy. They want to push this to a violent confrontation, and I'm sorry, this is going to end badly for them because they ran with the tail between their legs because they know what's coming. I couldn't believe that. They accomplished nothing today. I mean, I don't know. It just aggravated because those were my own stomping grounds as a kid. That really was upsetting. So, I don't know.
Are you
That's where I'm
worried?
at right now. That pissed me off.
Are you worried at all about what might happen with the increased budget for ICE? I mean, we're talking about a substantial amount of money.
Well, we talked
We're
about that
talking,
a little bit last night. Yeah, we worry about it. We also know that they even said that this invasion or what they were doing yesterday, it wasn't efficient and they were incompetent. He gave $175 billion to incompetent a-holes. And Christy Nome is a cosplayer. She has no idea why. Everyone explained to me, why is Christy Nome running the emergency stuff in Texas? Does she have better things to do as the Department of Homeland Security
Well,
secretary, or I'm just stupid?
I have the answer because FEMA has no money. So,
Oh, she has all FEMA's money?
yeah.
Okay.
She's
spend it
wearing,
all.
she's wearing two hats, Will.
Well,
Oh,
you know,
don't
and I
let me
think
go
there's
there. Please don't. You
there-
see the
there's-
picture.
there-
You know what I'm talking about.
there's a more important reason why Christy Nome is in all these places that she doesn't need to be at. It's because she's got all these new outfits that she has to show off. She's got to cosplay in different ways. She had the perfect outfit for the Texas floods, so sure she's going to show up. She's a publicity whore, and it's like
I
what
didn't
we
say
said
it.
before. It's all about performance.
I wonder if she's going to borrow those white boots off of Ron DeSantis.
Quick question to see. You saw what they did in MacArthur Park. If they did that in Chicago to Grant Park, is it Grant Park? I'm trying to remember. In Chicago,
Now Millennium Park.
Millennium Park. If they did that in Millennium Park, how would that go over in Chicago? Just curious.
Oh my gosh, I ain't about to touch it.
There'll be
That's gonna be a mess.
there'll be
Will.
blood. There'll be blood splattered on the bean. See,
It would go over the same way it did when they went with the Haitians in New York. It was not pretty.
That was
It's,
an ass
gonna
beating.
be ugly as hell.
And listen, whether they roll up in Battery Park or try to do part of Central Park, these guys are out of their minds. They think, and they all look alike. Jordan's mom's right. They're short and fat. And I look fat. I know that, but I ain't wearing that stuff. I look bad. I ain't stupid. I don't look good before I do that. Jeez.
Well, they can come
Maybe
to my
get-
little small city and try that because my city would be on the news. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Especially on the west side over here.
So we're gonna see what happens because I think they want to put. The thing about it is they light off Los Angeles. They're not going to control that mess. Shelley will tell you,
No.
you light that city off. No, it's not going to
No,
work.
I believe that the people of Los Angeles have shown, and besides what the news is saying, I believe the people of Los Angeles have shown great restraint.
Oh yes,
The fact that
Absolutely.
they stood today in front of those armored vehicles on the street and said, "No, you're not welcome here." And the fact that the mayor raced down and said the same thing,
yep.
we're not falling for that. They want us to act the fool. We're
And the-
not going to act the fool.
And
And
the thing
they
about it,
want us to do something wrong. No, we're not
I s-
going to.
I don't blame
believe.
them. I don't blame whatsoever.
I saw those people though, and the first thing I thought of with the armored vehicles, I thought of Tiananmen Square.
I did too.
That's an American version of Tiananmen Square today in MacArthur Park.
I
And
said the
again,
same thing on a post on Facebook, and I was roasted.
yeah.
Really?
Roasted. Yes.
No, I mean, that was the title of my video on it because I'm like, and there's nothing in MacArthur Park. It's not a great park. It's just MacArthur Park.
It's
You know?
very I don't know how long it's been since you've lived in LA. It's very nefarious. Once it gets dusk, you don't belong there.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I was in LA, it's been a while, but we went there as a kid. You knew you didn't go there at night. Now, the place you go there at night is the original Tommy stand on Beverly,
Yes.
because that's what you do at 2 in the morning. Is get a Tommy's burger on Beverly. If you know, you know.
I know.
But it's sad to watch that but people standing up was a good thing, and I think they're about to find out, unless they're going to step to like, what happened in Kent State, and if they do that, that's going to be on, because that will be not a good thing. And someone says because they told them there was MS-13 gang members in there. MS-13 does not hang around MacArthur Park.
No.
They do not.
No.
Okay. And if there were MS-13 gang members there wouldn't have been a member of ICE there.
No.
No.
There's
We know
not
the truth.
Yeah.
It's mostly during the day it's mostly families and vendors, and at night it's mostly homeless people, people dealing various amounts of things including their bodies, and I don't even think the police go in MacArthur Park at night.
No, LAPD, that's the thing. LAPD is selective. They'll just try to keep it tamped down. They're not going to stop it. That's the one thing to give that. But the good thing about it is that you gave $175 billion to a bunch of incompetent assholes. And the pressure is going to be worse and on from that point on. But thank you for letting me speak my piece, because that's my hometown. I don't give a crap if I'm stuck here in Georgia. It still is.
Well, I'm interested. I'm interested to know that because they're out of money, where's this money going to come from?
It comes from the budget, dude.
Yeah, but they're what they're doing is a crime. They're not allowed to spend more money than they're allocated.
They're allocated that budget. The only immediate part of that budget is ICE. That's why they pushed it so hard. ICE needed that money. All that money is ICE money. That's the first money out.
So
they have money.
So that's day one.
Day one. The rest of it's down the line. But ICE is Stephen Miller's baby, Tom Homan's baby, and they're going to roll this out. We're going to see what happens. And so to answer a lot of questions, yeah, this is my new home. It's a fruit. Come Quad 6. And we're going to go from there until March, or go butt TikTok.
Well,
we're not hearing.
Yeah.
That's not good. So we'll figure it all out later. Guys, have a good night. Thanks, Mike. We're back on, and we're going to see what happens from there. Take care, guys.
Night, Will.
All right, thanks, Will.
Well,
I have a question. I have a question for all of you that is coming across in the comments. Magdalena says, "Rational Boomer, do you think Musk and Trump are really feuding?" Now, I hear a lot of people say this. Oh, this is just a plan. They're fighting to distract. No, they're fighting.
Yeah.
If they weren't really fighting, Jeffrey Epstein would not come up. That's too deep. That's too dangerous. We're dealing with two guys that are emotional wrecks, and they just start spewing shit when the other one gets mad. When Elon Musk said he was going to start a third party, look at all the posts that Donald Trump made. He's terrified at that prospect because he knows it's going to impact the Republicans. I saw somebody on TikTok saying, and I love when these guys do this, they don't have a lot of followers and they throw something out just hoping they can get some traction and get some clout. They say, do you think Elon Musk is starting this third party to take votes away from the Democrats? The fuck kind of point is that? How is Elon Musk going to take Democratic vote, for fuck's sake? We're rooting for Elon Musk to kick Donald Trump's ass, but we still hate the motherfucker.
It's like the boss battle between ketamine and Adderall. It's the boss battle.
Yeah, because when you talk about two narcissists, that's exactly what's happening. They're battling against each other.
I could start a
narcissist,
and I would win before that stupid Elon's American Party would.
Yeah, yeah. I think Elon, and that's why I think I'm not concerned about Elon's third party. I kind of root for it because it won't work probably, but it will take votes away from the Republicans, and I'm down for that. Elon can waste more money if he wants. See, the other thing Elon's trying to do, he's trying to redeem himself. Over and
Hmm.
above politics, he's got two businesses that are going to shit, and they're not getting better. He's not
Good
getting
luck.
more money.
Good.
Especially
So
with Tesla, because the stock market, he lost a lot of money from that.
And you know
yeah,
what, Mike?
he's trying to make himself out to be the good guy.
I just thought about this, Mike, and I absolutely agree with you that Epstein is way too deep, right? He's mentioned it once or
Yeah,
twice. And then today he comes out with this whole new tweet with the clown photos. Uh, he's saying that, hey, this is bullshit and I'm going to call it out. So, yeah, I think they are definitely feuding for real.
Yeah,
if
that ain't
if
no deal.
if this keeps up, something really damaging is going to come out because narcissists scorch earth and burn bridges, and once they get going, they just cannot stop. I'm going to pull somebody else up here. Um, uh,
Same.
the same sarcasm. Hey, how you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
hey, how are y'all?
Good.
So,
What's
I just wanted to make a point. I I don't know how I found it, and it is old news. But Stephen Miller, his family heritage is Belarus,
wow?
and his
Yeah,
and if you Google, I don't know, just Google CNN, Stephen Miller's uncle. In 2018, he was
I saw
on
this.
he was on with Cooper, and he basically outed Stephen Miller out of the family, like the Kennedys have with RFK.
Right.
The guy basically said, I'm paraphrasing, but had his family not escaped Belarus, Stephen Miller would not be.
Right, and they basically said he's a hypocrite. His uncle said this guy's bullshit. He's a
Oh yeah,
hypocrite. If not for immigrants, he would not even be here. And for me, that's if we can keep more people like Stephen Miller out of this fucking place, I'm all for it. Fortunately, a lot of immigrants are very hardworking, decent people, but there are some that get through, as Donald Trump said, that are criminals or corrupt. And Stephen Miller would be a good example of that. He really is the nemesis of this country. He's like a superhero villain, and he's creepy looking and he's goofy looking and he's not as smart as he thinks he is because he does nothing but make himself look bad every time he opens his mouth.
I mean, I thought I took a lot of beatings as a kid because I was small and I got beat up and I learned how to stick up for myself. But he's just a pathetic, human waste.
Yeah, yeah,
Were
he
you
is.
upset over picking up your own trash?
Yeah.
That was
Say it
Stephen
again.
Miller. Stephen Miller gave a big old speech about why should I have to pick up my trash? That's what we got janitors for. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yes, he did. Piece of shit.
Oh my god.
yeah. I think Stephen probably took a few beatings in school. Most guys, he's weird looking. He was not the nicest human being. And now, of course, he goes off and get married. And I didn't think the crazy thing that was that he got married. I think it's crazy to think that he ever got a fucking date. But then Elon stole his wife and throwing him and her in the harem and stuff. I think even
He never went to
Steven's a little
prom.
chafed at this point.
Well,
He stayed home and watched
technically,
TV
Mike,
on prom night.
yeah,
His
technically,
ass,
Mike, she's working for the public sector.
his,
That's what they call it.
his ass
Yeah,
is burned.
yeah. Well,
And
or
and
she's working on being baby mama at number 19.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
It's crazy, but it's true.
Him and Nick Cannon.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't get that. I never understood that. I've been married to the same woman for 42 years, and she's given me all I can fucking handle. I don't understand having a bunch of baby mamas. That just doesn't make sense to me. I got one wife, two kids, two grandkids, and my plate is full, and it has been full for most of my life.
So I don't know if any of you are
But
following any of the representatives. I'm from New Mexico. That's my home state. There's a young lady,
mhm.
Melanie Stansbury, I think.
Stansbury, right?
She is a firecracker.
Yeah, she's
I
awesome.
She is.
I love her. She is good, and she doesn't take no crap. She gets right in their face.
Well, I was watching something with her after the bill passed, and everybody was cheering and dancing in their belly shirts to YMCA. They were just partying like Republicans can only party. The Stansbury woman was being interviewed by somebody in that room, and the Republicans were really butthurt about it. You can't be in here. She goes, "Fuck you. I'm a representative in the
Yeah.
House of Representatives. I got every bit of business of being in here." And they didn't want them to show certain things, and they were mad that she was speaking ill of the bill. You just want to speak bad about it. Well, yeah, of course. It's a fucking bad bill. It's commonly known as the worst bill that's ever passed in Congress. So for her to speak out, but she wasn't taking any shit. She was
No.
saying, "No, I'm not moving. Fuck you."
Yep. She's awesome. I really, really like her.
Yeah, and who knows? She's a younger woman too. She might be the
Mhm.
future of the Democratic Party. I mean, there was a group I had on my podcast, and I can't remember the name, and I'm sorry. I wish I had, but it was two young people, and they had a business and a website, and the whole point of the website, and this was prior to David Hogg, but the whole point of the website is to be able to get information out on younger representatives. You can go to this website, find out who the younger representatives were in your area, and then put your email in, and you would get updates about what they're doing. And I think that's a good idea. I mean, a lot of people like Stansbury are doing great things, and we don't even know about them because they aren't making the noise that Mitch McConnell and some of these other people are doing. That may be the one thing we should all do: go and find out who represents us and find out what they're about, because information is power, and a lot of people aren't informed in this country.
oh
True.
my God, that's an understatement.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we were talking about this before. How uninformed are they? We've got people in Oklahoma that love their Sooner Care, but they hate Medicaid. What they don't know is that Sooner Care is Medicaid, so they vote for taking away their own health care. It's like the Trumplefucks that come out and say, "Well, I love the ACA, but I hate Obamacare." Same fucking
Yeah,
thing,
it's the same
dumbass.
thing.
But they don't know. They're uninformed. They're ignorant.
And it's so frustrating because they are that ignorant, and it's been going on for so long. And I guess they're, they won't take it on the chin and correct it. So they just keep going about their business the same old way every day, day after day after day after day, and here we are with the same shit.
Absolutely. Well, Adam, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. You're welcome anytime. I got to get a few more people on, and I'm running out of boxes. So I appreciate it. Next time we do a live, be sure to come on back too. We love to hear your insights.
We'll do always. I think you're the best. You are the best.
Thank you. I wish I could get my family to decide I was even in the top 10. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Adam. Thank
You are
you.
the Ted Koppel of TikTok. I met him, by
I'm
the
glad
way.
you did. I'm
I
glad
met
you.
him.
I'm glad you didn't. Did you? He was a good journalist. One of the last journalists. I'm just glad you didn't say I'm the Matt Lauer of TikTok. That
Oh
would have been a
God,
whole fucking
no.
different deal.
Oh God, no.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
You too. All right, we got some other people we want to get up here. Let's get Coach Mox up here. I've been watching Coach Mox's videos, and is he showing up? I thought I hit him. Coach Mox is somebody that's online, and he's a younger guy. He's a military guy, and he's very upset, very passionate about what's going on. He's not coming up here. Maybe I'll get him later. But if you haven't checked Coach Mox out on TikTok, oh, there he is. We'll try it again. All right, Coach Mox. And he popped off again. I don't know what the hell's going on. We'll pull somebody else up here, and maybe we'll get Coach Mox at some point. Let's pull in Raptor Wrangler.
Hello.
All right, Raptor Wrangler, how are you doing? What's on your mind?
Well, first of all, when the app first came back, you were the first slide that popped up on, and figured I could. That's when I figured I could go on lives again. But anyway, I've had some, thoughts come into my mind. Like when the live first came back, I wanted to come up here and tell you how I thought that, this administration was wanting to really, they weren't really that interested in deportation. They were more interested in forced labor. And
yeah, some people have brought that up, and that's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, they're making noises that that's what they want to do.
And my other fear is that this camp that they have down in South Florida is that's not a detention center.
No.
My fear is that when the next storm comes through that area, which is going to happen, they're just going to evacuate the personnel and leave the people there.
Sadly, I think you're absolutely right, and they'll go, whoops.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have been immigrants.
But somebody was talking about the elections a few minutes ago. I would just like to point out that, I'm in Northwest Florida. We were very, very close to turning blue this past February. Very, very close.
Right.
The thing is, every time I go to the ballot box, I see people running unopposed. And really, I don't care if it's Republican or Democrat. Nobody should be running unopposed.
I agree.
Well, so we need to get people out there to not just, a lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of people just focus on the big races. It really, all politics is local. You need to focus on your local ones. Your sheriffs are important, judges,
right.
Your city, your council seats, your school boards. Gosh, really, within the last 4 years, how did we not, how could we not realize that school boards are extremely important? Even your dog catcher, get out there and, if you're blue, get out there, put in your name, and, run. I think that's important. And get out there and volunteer to push for blue candidates. But yeah, that's really what I needed to say.
Well, you make some good points, and it's certainly some things we've got to think about. The whole idea of forced labor and the danger that they're putting people in, especially with this alligator Alcatraz. This is just absurd. You said it's not a detention center. I saw somebody on TikTok make a list of all the things that would qualify as a concentration camp. And guess what? Everything they say about this situation would fit under that description. And that's troubling that that's something that could happen in this country.
Another disconcerting thing is, of course, the merchandise, which is just
Oh, Jesus
that's just
Christ.
that gesture is that's unconscionable. But I don't know if you've seen the videos of people standing outside the sign taking photographs. I saw one earlier. This family. I would assume it was their grandson, and they were taking pictures and making him take pictures underneath the alligator Alcatraz sign that they put up down there. And
Yeah.
it's disgusting.
It's sick. It's absolutely sick.
Okay, Mike, so think about this, right? So we've got this alligator Alcatraz, and then we also got the president of the United States saying that, hey, we're going to leave the immigrants in the farms and the hospitality, and we're going to let the owners be responsible, air quotes, for them. I mean, what does that remind you of, right? It's like he's taking us back to a place where we really don't want to be.
Yeah,
No.
that's not farm owners anymore. That's plantation. And
When you put somebody in a position where they're working for somebody and the boss vouches for them, that puts the boss in a much more powerful situation. I'm only going to pay you this much, and if you talk about it, we're going to call up ICE and tell them to take you away. It is almost forced labor. It's doing the things that this country fought to get away from. And
well,
we get the Republicans and we get the Donald Trumps, and they're trying to take us back there. It's absolute bullshit.
Yep,
if
that's my
I'm
entire point. And MBM, you're correct. I just didn't want to see it because I didn't want to get Mike's live taken down.
if I'm
Isn't
not
it
mistaken,
I
indentured
appreciate that.
slavery?
What's that?
Isn't it indentured? Isn't that the term?
Yeah,
I don't.
indentured. Yeah. I guess that would be. It wouldn't be classified as what we had in the Civil War, but it would be an indentured servant to a certain extent.
Right.
Which, honestly, I don't know really what the difference is. Maybe you can go down to the store and be free in that sense, but when you're at work, you better do what you're told. Otherwise,
well,
something's going to happen. Yeah.
indentured servitude was usually you work for 7 years to pay off a debt. This isn't that at all. I mean, they're not working to pay off a debt or to earn citizenship. They're going to force them to work, and for under threat of either deportation or worse.
Yeah, you're
But I
right. I
thought
mean,
the words that he used were this would allow them to stay unencumbered. And then he said they won't have citizenship, but they'll have, he named a couple of things. I can't remember his exact wording, and that's why I was thinking indentured.
Well, he said he'll give them a card. They will have some sort of
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing is when Donald Trump says something, you can't expect he's going to stand by it. He says, we're going in to raid the farms and the hospitality. And then he said, no, we're not going to do that. And then he said, hell, we're going to do that. Now he's talking about letting the bosses decide whether they're good or not. This is the problem with Donald Trump with tariffs, international issues. He says one thing, then he says another thing, and you just can't trust him. That's why nobody negotiates with him.
But I think if I'm not mistaken, there was a huge scandal either in the late '90s, early 2000s of sugarcane plantations in South Florida that were withholding farm workers' passports,
Yeah.
and if they did not meet performance or they caused any ruckus at all, they would call immigration on them and have
Yeah.
them removed.
Yeah, I'm sure that that's the kind of thing that was going on that was under the radar and the news didn't report. The only good thing about what Donald Trump is doing, he's bringing this all to the surface, and we're seeing just how horrible the shit that's being done to people who are marginalized or have concerns about their own safety or their own residence here in the country. If you're a migrant, you're under somebody's thumb, and you better do exactly what they say. Otherwise, you're at risk from being loaded on a plane and sent to fucking El Salvador.
Yeah. But that's what I wanted
Raptor,
to come up and share with you. So.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Raptor Wrangler. You're more than welcome to come back anytime. Thank you for your insights.
Right. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Let's see who else is out there. We got a few other people that want to show up. We got the analytical Iowan, our friend Eric from Iowa. He no doubt has some insights and details too. Something different than I can offer. I talk big picture bullshit. Eric can talk about the specifics. What's up with you, Eric?
Oh, not much. Just saw you guys were live and thought I'd jump in and join in. So,
Well, what's pissing you off today?
hey, Rebecca. All right, that's not Rebecca. It's Michelle.
It's Michelle.
Michelle. I assumed it was Rebecca. But anyway, where to start? There's a whole bunch of shit going on. Donald Trump fucking around with the tariffs again, talking about going up to 40%. Stock market goes down again. Clearly, he doesn't learn. He doesn't learn from the last time at all. Then we turned around. You got Elon and Donnie. That fight's not over. With that third party Musk wants to do. What he's going to do with it, I've been saying it in my videos. Depending on where he targets his campaigns at, he may flip some seats blue that were previously unattainable for Democrats.
I want him to do it, Eric.
Right.
I want him to do it.
Me
I do
too.
too.
I've been saying that. I'm like, do it. But he thinks he can have, what did I read? 1 to 3 Senate candidates up and running by midterms, and maybe, I think he said up to 30 House seats, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
Something like that. And he thinks that he's going to be able to hold enough power that he's going to win all these races, and he's going to flip, or he'll be able to say, well, we're going to caucus with this side or that side, and we'll sway the vote for who's in power. And if you don't like it, we'll just switch sides. It's not going to be that. What he's going to do is probably not win a single seat, maybe one, and end up giving Democrats a bigger majority. And I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think, Eric, that the Republicans are obviously nervous about that, but especially Donald Trump, the way he's been hitting Truth Social against Elon Musk? Let me ask you this first of all. People have asked me this. This Elon Musk argument with Donald Trump, some people think it's just a ploy, that it's not real. I disagree. I think it's absolutely real, and we can tell by the shit they're talking about. And the way Donald Trump's reacting on Truth Social. He's nervous about something, and that's why he can't shut up.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Because if this were staged, you wouldn't see the reactions out of Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not mentally stable, emotionally stable enough to have some big, drawn-out, fake fight. This is happening, and you're seeing his real reaction. And like I said, I think on your podcast, I think at some point, one or the other side, probably going to be from Donnie, will end up being the side to fuck up and say, well, you did this for me, or I did this for you for the election, and this is what we did, and the truth's going to come out, all because they're in the middle of this battle, and it's not going to be intentional. It'll be like a 2 a.m. rage tweet, probably from Donnie, but once it's out there, the damage will be done.
Yeah, and Donald Trump will fuck it up. I mean, it's just inevitable. Even Elon tends to say things he shouldn't say. And between the two of them, something is going to come out. Now, we've talked about this before, and you're the perfect guy to talk about this with. There are people that still think, oh, we're going to find out that there was funny business in the election, and then Donald Trump will get kicked out, and Kamala Harris will be put in as president. That sounds like some crazy bullshit that Republicans would say in 2020. But even if we find out there was some shit going on, that Elon did something or Donald Trump did something, that doesn't really change anything. And you've explained before why it doesn't immediately kick out Donald Trump and then put in Kamala Harris. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it won't happen. Reason being, there's no mechanism in the Constitution to do that. And I know there are going to be people in the comments saying Donnie doesn't follow the Constitution, so why should we? But that's not the point. The point is, all that can be done is impeach and remove. And if you remove Donnie, in goes J.D. Vance. If for whatever reason they say, okay, well, what happened was bad enough that both Vance and Trump benefited from this election stuff, they both go out. We get the Speaker of the House, whoever that may be at the time. Right now, that would be
Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson. I was drawing a complete blank. But after the midterms, that could be Hakeem Jeffries. Now, I've seen some people say what the Democrats should do, and they're talking the same bullshit that Republicans did during the midterms going into 22 was, well, Democrats should get control and make Kamala the Speaker of the House. And then oust them both and make her. That's not going to happen either. The House would never put somebody unelected in as Speaker. It's just not going to happen. So,
well, the thing about it is this whole talk about the Speaker of the House to be the next president. You have to understand the Republican, or whether it be Republican or Democrat, in order for the Speaker of the House to be President of the United States, both the Vice President and the President have to go away. And that job as a Speaker as President is only temporary. It's not like he gets a term or she gets a term of 4 years. That's not how it works. If Donald Trump gets impeached, J.D. Vance becomes president. J.D. Vance picks a vice president. If J.D. Vance gets kicked out, the vice president becomes the president. You've got to be able to take them both out at the same time before the Speaker of the House is even in the conversation.
Right. And the only way that, even if they take them out separately, the only way it would happen is if Congress wouldn't confirm whoever JD picks to be his VP. Because if he picks somebody outrageous and Democrats are in control, of course they're not going to confirm it. But see what Nixon did with when was it Agnew resigned? He picked Ford, who was not really controversial. He knew it would be not controversial, smooth sailing. Both parties would agree. He's kind of middle of the road. He got him through pretty easy. If J.D. Vance had to pick a VP, smart money would be do something like that. Pick somebody from your party that's middle of the road. But this is all hypothetical. The big thing is, if anything comes out that there was funny business, whether Donnie mentions it, whether Elon mentions it, or this court case, it's getting it out there so we can prevent it in the future, so we can fix whatever issues happen. That's the bigger takeaway.
Well, and what it helps us too is if we find out there was funny business and the Republicans cheated somehow, that is going to be front and center in the upcoming elections. Yes. Well, the motherfuckers cheated. They lied to you. They cheated you. And they did all these bad things to you. But to think that Trump's going to get kicked out and Kamala will take over, it's just not going to happen. I'm tired of the psychics out here saying, well, on this date, this is going to happen. They're always wrong. Every time they say, well, it's the 25th or it's the 7th, shit's going to go down. I just scroll past them because I'm tired of hearing the shit. It sounds so much like the Trump fucks after 2020. I just don't want to even engage in that bullshit.
Yeah, I think the same way. Like I said, the big takeaway will be preventing it from happening further. Like you said, it's going to be front and center with the election. And even though Donald Trump is not up for election this time and he's ineligible to run again in 28, I don't care what him or any of the Republicans say. You can hang this around their neck of, hey, he cheated to win. What? And now, where's your response? What are you saying to it? Why haven't you impeached him? Why haven't you done anything? Republicans are going to have to be fighting an uphill battle across the board. And if it does come out, you're going to see them jumping ship quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yeah, no question. Eric, I'm going to bring up a couple more people here because we're coming down toward the end, and I want to make sure we get some people here. I'll try this one again real quick. We had some problems getting Coach Mox on, and then I have my show closer for obvious reasons. But Coach Mox, how you doing? We got you up this time. I've been watching your videos. You seem pretty passionate about the things you're talking about. What's on your mind today?
Thanks for having me on. Sorry about the earlier problem there.
No problem.
I want to just remind with everything that is going on. It's hard to keep up, obviously, but
Yeah.
Donald Trump wants us to forget about what happened with Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the punishment that he has gone through for no reason at all. I've actually
Right.
been in contact a little bit with his family, and
Oh wow.
what this guy has what this guy has gone through as an innocent man who had a protective status ripped from him. In any other normal circumstance, somebody would go to prison for what's happened to him. He was kidnapped and, obviously sent to El Salvador. And, everybody I'm sure is aware of what happened there.
Hey, Coach,
So yes,
can I ask you a question about that? I'm glad you mentioned that.
yes.
So right before I got
Mhm.
on this live tonight, I saw a video of Stephen Miller on Fox News talking
Yep.
about him. Did you happen to catch that clip?
I came across my feed and I can't watch him for more than a second before I want to punch my phone.
Right.
And
I'm with you.
if they do that MMA cage thing at the White House, I'm going to try to get me and him as the first fight. But so no, I did not see it. I'm interested to hear what who knows what he said though. Did you hear it
Yeah, I
all?
saw it, sir, and I don't think you want to see it. It was he basically demeaned his character and anybody else who
Of
was
course.
rooting for him.
Right. Yeah, that's what they do. They use they're pretty much down to a Chicago Bulls hat as proof of him being in a gang. And now they pardoned one of the worst criminals they had out of the actual MS-13 gang, so that he can try to help frame him,
Well,
and that they're going
Yeah.
to use his testimony.
well, Coach,
It's
I told you the backstory on Garcia on your I left a comment on your video.
on the Garcia.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if I saw. I'm sorry, TJ. I don't
you
know.
replied to it, but here's the thing: Kilmar Abrego Garcia was an apprentice in sheet metal workers local 100 in Washington D.C. He
Right.
he spent years, a couple of years being an apprentice. So
Yep.
they're lying about his background, saying that he's a trafficker or whatever. That's absolute
Yep.
bullshit. He
Absolutely.
before he got into the apprenticeship, he helped other people in his community get work. So he'd drive
Yep.
people around to get them the jobs so they could work.
Absolutely.
It's an absolute lie what they're saying about him.
Yeah.
They're grabbing at any straw they can find right now, and they found a domestic dispute between him and his wife. His wife, you know, had gone through that before with a previous partner, and she, in a nervous situation, took an order out, but she clearly claims that he never touched her. And you know what? That doesn't even matter. Like they're trying to bring
No.
in things to defame his character. And the real character is the guy that held up a fake AI photo in the White House trying to frame this guy.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable that we actually have a president doing that. But
Well,
that's
I tell you what, Coach. If you were able to get into a mix up with Stephen Miller, I'm pretty sure you
yeah.
can kick his ass. Honestly, I'm 65 years old and not in the best shape. I think I could kick his ass.
Yeah, we both have years on him, but we could both take him. I'm pretty matter of fact, he probably throw Jesse Waters in there with him. And
Yeah.
maybe we could do a tag team.
That would be one I would
Yeah.
actually pay for.
I would love to do that.
Well,
I
Um,
would
I
love to
can
do that.
I can tell you guys this. Every single apprenticeship program that is in the construction trades has what's called a joint apprenticeship training committee. And
right.
I sit on my apprenticeship committee. And if you are an individual that causes problems or has legal problems or a drug issue or whatever, you get dealt with by that committee. So if
Right.
Kilmar Obrega Garcia had done anything wrong, he would be immediately expelled from the apprenticeship. And
No, it's
the very fact that he was still an apprentice and he got grabbed up, is absolutely ridiculous because he did nothing wrong. And our apprenticeship would have thrown him out if he did.
well, and you're right, and they never wanted him to come back here. They never wanted his story to get out, and
Yeah.
that's why they're holding now. And all their plan is the second he walks out of that jail is to get him on a plane and get him the hell out of here to a
Well,
country we don't know.
interestingly enough, they want to charge him with trafficking people across the country, but um, Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis committed the same exact crime.
Exactly.
Well,
Well, and
Donald
I'll
Trump
just
is doing it by sending people to El Salvador.
Right.
Innocent people.
Well, I'm saying intracontinental, like Greg Abbott
right.
and Ron DeSantis
The,
within the confines of the United States traffic people across the country.
the thing is, right
Yeah.
now, if you have brown skin, all right, we have 600, well, closer to 700,000 white undocumented immigrants, and I have not yet seen one ICE agent arrest a white undocumented immigrant. Have you?
Not only
No.
that, I haven't seen one gang member or criminal shown to us that they've deported. You would think
Exactly.
if they came
The-
across a gang member, they'd say, "Hey, he's a gang member." They haven't done that. I haven't seen one gang
no,
member or
Look,
criminal deported.
they're
they would
afraid.
parade them. They would parade them around town on their, on a God knows what. But the bottom line is Stephen Miller. All right, if you track him back, do you remember the lacrosse scandal at Duke University,
Yeah,
where
was he there?
he was there. Okay, he was actually
Wow,
their editor for their newspaper, and
wow.
or maybe a writer. I may have that mixed up. I can't remember which one, but I remember this about him. All right, that story was about three white kids and a black stripper, and I remember him saying if that was three black players and a white girl, uh, those black guys would have gotten off within a week. He said that. It was quoted in our newspaper here in North Carolina. And I was like, who in the hell
That's
is that guy?
bullshit. The exact opposite would have happened.
Right. Well, if you look at his emails that got leaked and the book that he always quotes and recommends, it's called The Camp of Saints, Camp of the Saints. It's like a French novel, but it's one of the most racist, white supremacist books you can ever read. And
Yeah,
those emails all have many. That's just who he is. Bottom line. That's who he is and what he's about. And if you're brown, you're bad.
yeah.
But
He's an evil
if
piece of shit.
I'm gonna say this lastly, Boomer, if you don't mind,
Sure.
I'm trying. If y'all will check out my page, I'm trying to get a protest up for Kilmar and for just all the undocumented immigrants that have been kidnapped or detained illegally. And I'm trying to work with a few organizations. So just check for my on my profile if you get a chance. And I'd like to get something together because it's we cannot let this go by without Trump is going to distract us, but what they did to this man and what they are doing to people right now is wrong.
Yeah. Excuse me. Absolutely. If you watch my page, you should be watching Coach Mox's page too. We're different in the way we talk, but we're all of the same mindset, and he has some interesting input. If he's trying to put together a protest, by all means, check out Coach Mox and
Thank you.
join the fight. You got to continue to fight.
I
I'm going to leave
appreciate
you
it,
there,
Boomer.
Coach. I'm going to leave you
All
there,
right.
Coach Mox. I'm going to got one more guy coming up. Some might
He
call it
must have
comedic relief.
he must
Hey,
have got my he
What's
must have
that?
got my invite.
Mike, before you bring, can I
Yeah.
just say this real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
It really bothered me today when I saw, you were talking about alligator Alcatraz, and I forgot to mention this.
Right.
But Christy Nome says she wanted to make it clear that they are not racist. They she says we are not racist. She says we don't care if you are black, brown, or normal,
Normal.
right? What the fuck is normal?
Uh huh.
I will tell you this. When somebody says I'm the least racist person you know. That's a raging fucking racist.
I mean,
You
he's
have to come out and
no.
qualify it and say something about it. Clearly, you're not.
She would have been better off just not
Yeah.
saying anything at all. Just not
Well,
saying
she's
shit.
stupid. She's stupid. All right, we got one last guest. We're winding things down. Liam is with us. He happens to be TJ's brother.
Eh,
He just
Hi,
he's
Liam.
not your brother?
yeah, he is. The show is ruined now, but it's going.
Hey, Matt Lauer, how you going?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Hey, did you drive down to Georgia?
I did drive down to Georgia. We needed a car down here, and we found one in Minnesota. And my wife loves road trips. And
Yeah.
she's just getting over her arm and rib injury from work, and now she's got the sciatic thing. And I said, maybe driving 20 hours isn't the best thing for a sciatic. No, it won't be a problem. We went to urgent care today to give you an idea how well it went. So hopefully
So,
she's got this road trip shit out of her system.
Yeah, did you have a flat or a breakdown or anything?
Nothing.
Oh, that's
Nothing.
too bad. That's too bad.
Yeah, thank you. That's my greatest fear is having a car break down. We
Yeah.
just bought this car, but it was a Honda, so we seemed pretty confident that it would be fine. And it was. It ran beautifully. I was surprised. I expected something to go awry, but it didn't, thankfully.
Ah,
And
that's
the
good.
best thing about it is with all the things that may have worked against us, I knew I was better off than TJ because TJ was working his ass off and had to host you. He had to spend the weekend with you. I just had to spend the weekend with an angry woman who was in pain, and that was better than spending time with Liam.
There's a saving grace to it all. I get to drop him off at the airport tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
He's excited.
I am excited. It'll be the highlight of the week to drive to the airport.
Fuck you too.
TJ, where are you from again? Exactly. Was it
I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm from
Because you asked me,
Northwest Pennsylvania.
about my accident the other day, I believe. I was just curious because I picked up on yours as well.
What?
Really?
What accident?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, accent. I thought you
Accident,
said. I thought you said accident.
No,
said
that was my
accident.
accent. Throwing you
You're
off.
an accident.
You're an accident. Literally.
Well,
You're
I was,
literally
yeah.
an accident, motherfucker.
For two people who weren't raised together, you guys laugh exactly the same. Exactly.
You do.
Aw.
And it's fucking annoying.
Yep.
Fucking annoying.
But Coach, no, I'm from Northwest Pennsylvania.
Okay. I was just curious. I think it was you that asked me about mine. I didn't think I
I
even
did.
had really a. Okay.
I
Yeah.
I really can't. I have friends that live in North Carolina and friends that live in Tennessee, so I get a little confused about who's who.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
that's why I
we
asked
have
you.
yeah we have a little bit
Well,
more brains over this way. I think that's the only difference. I hope anyway. Some of us.
yeah. Well, I'm going to wrap things up, and you can see why Liam was the last guest because thing really deteriorated when he got on. So
Exactly.
thank you for that, Liam. Thank you for that. Trucker T, thank you for helping me out in the first live. Michelle, thank you very much. Rebecca and TJ the plumber,
Absolutely.
you're always there to knock these fucking Trumplefucks out. See Temptations, it's always great to hear from you.
Hey, Mike.
I have to turn, yeah.
I got Uncle Bernie to start listening to you now. He voted for Trump in the first election. Then he was appalled by the January 6th bullshit. And then I played a couple. I played a couple of your shorts for him today, and he was like, "I like this guy." So
Well,
yeah,
that's saying something. I appreciate it.
yeah, he
See
hates
Temptation.
diapered on now.
Oh, well, anybody with intelligence would, but
Yeah,
some of
he
these
just didn't know any
Trumplefucks
better.
can't do that.
He was one of the
So,
ignorant ones.
So hi to Uncle Bernie. Thank you for coming to the light side and away from
Yeah.
the dark side. See Temptation. You got anything coming up people should be looking for?
C, are you there?
I think C might be asleep.
I love her
Well, it
laugh.
could be.
Yeah, anytime, Mike.
I do too.
I'm available anytime you call. So
I appreciate that. I will call. Eric, you're one of the guys I call all the time too. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, not a problem. Glad I could just jump in and join. Saw you guys were on and said, hey, why not?
Check out the Analytical Iowan if you want to know some shit. I watch him all the time, so I at least appear to know some shit. Coach Mox, again, I told everybody to follow him. By all means, do that. Thank you, Coach.
Mike, safe travels to you.
Well, yeah, I'm going back on a plane, thankfully. But Liam, thanks for nothing, really. But you did a nice job with it.
Love you too.
Tell
Mike.
the wife
Anyway.
to feel better.
I will. I've been telling her that, and she's not having it. But I'll keep telling her. Anyway, for those of you listening, thanks for doing that, taking the time. I hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Good night, y'all.